Well, check this out. Associated Press is reporting that some of the people being recruited to join ISIS have actually gone on to Amazon. A couple of guys from England went on to Amazon.com to order the Quran for Dummies and Islam for Dummies because they were that ignorant of Islam, and yet they're joining ISIS, but they're not isolated. In fact, the report says that the large majority of those that are being recruited for ISIS, when they fill out an employment form on a scale of 1 to 3, their knowledge of Islam, they're a 1. They're very low in terms of the knowledge of Islam. So, of course, the media is saying, you see, ISIS is not about Islam. Radical jihad's not about Islam. No, that doesn't prove this at all. Number one, the leaders of ISIS are constantly putting out literature pointing to what the Quran says, pointing to the example of Muhammad, pointing to Islamic theology, even quoting major Islamic leaders today to say that there is complete justification for what they're doing with their radical, murderous jihad. That's number one. Number two, there have been major meetings for decades now with major Islamic scholars, and they have said, yes, in certain circumstances, radical, violent jihad is absolutely justifiable. And the leaders of ISIS would say that these are the prevailing circumstances, and therefore this is justifiable. Now, there is a third point. What about these people that are being recruited for ISIS? What's drawing them? What's drawing them is a larger Islamic fervor without specific knowledge, as it appears in most cases. And they're obviously being drawn to the violence. They're being drawn to the brutality. They're being drawn to this promise they're going to get paid and they're going to have women and they're going to get to it. They can assert their ways over others. In other words, it's appealing to some very, very base instincts in people, to a violent, brutal, dominating, domineering mentality, and that's what's pulling these people in. So they're being drawn in by bad things, but I assure you, once they're there, they're being taught this is what the Quran says, this is what Muhammad did, this is what Islamic history says, this is what Islamic theology says, and in their mind, they're doing what they're doing in service to Allah.